Hello everyone. So have you all attempted the mock or not? Have you all attempted the mock? So at least Salman has attempted it. Okay, Abisha has also. And how did you identify there? There are two people who has attempted the mock. Okay, this is about the mock debrief. And in this session, we will discuss the answers of the mock. Okay. So let's start with the first question. And the first question is, which of the following technique is not relevant to target costing? So the correct answer is B, variance analysis. Because in target costing, we are focusing on cost reduction, and variance analysis is a technique on cost control. Let's take the next question. A company makes and sells product X and product Y. Twice as many units of product Y are made and sold as that of product X. Each unit of product X makes a contribution of $10 and each unit of Y makes a contribution of $4. Fixed costs are 90,000. What is the total number of units which must be made and sold to make a profit of $45,000? Abid has told me that it is not the first question. Abid, the question that you have seen in your screen is shuffled. So the sequence of the question will be different over here. Okay, the sequence of the question will be different of what you have attempted. So we have to identify the total number of units which will make a profit of $45,000. So for this, first of all, the total contribution should be equals to fixed cost Now the fixed cost is 90,000 and the profit is 45,000. That means the total contribution should be equals to 135,000. Now let's talk about the equations now. Now the other way to represent the total contribution is the contribution per unit of X plus the contribution per unit of Y into the number of units of Y. So it will be 10X plus 4Y in this case, because you can see the contribution per unit of X is $10. So if I multiply it with the number of units of X, this will be the total contribution for X, and same is for the Y. So we knew that this should be 135,000. We also know that Y should be equal to double of X. Number of units of Y should be equal to double of X. So it should be 2X. So these are my two equations, by the way. So this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. What I can do is, if I put the value of equation 2 in equation 1, my formula will then be 10x plus 4 into 2x should be equals to 135,000. Now, if I calculate the value of x, what will it be? I have to divide 135,000 with 18. What would be the answer? If I divide 135 with 18, 135 It's 7,500. It's 7,500. Yes. Abid, Salman, Atiba, yes, you are all correct. Now that means if the value of x is 7,500, what will be the value of y? It is double of x. So it will be 2 into 7,500. So that should be 15,000. So that means to achieve a profit of 45,000, we have to sell 7,500 units of X and 50,000 units of Y. And its combined total will be 22,500. So this should be the answer. 22,500. Now this is the question on life cycle costing, and the requirement is what is the budgeted life cycle cost per unit of product B? Salman has requested me that can you solve the question through the ratio? Sure, I can. So first of all, remember that we have the total contribution of 135,000. Or to achieve a 45,000 profit, this will be the question of a target profit. For that, the answer should be this 135,000 divided by weighted average contribution per unit. So we will be calculating the contribution per unit weighted average. So X and Y, the proportion is 1X and 2Y. This is the proportion. That means X has 1/3 share and Y has 2/3 share. X has a contribution per unit of 5, whereas Y has the contribution per unit of, X has a contribution per unit of 10, not 5. It was 10. And Y has a contribution of 4. So if we can calculate it, it will be 10 divided by 3. The answer will be 3.33 plus 2 by 3 multiplied by 4. And the answer is 2.67. 2.67. That means the weighted average contribution is 6. So if I divide it with 135,000, the answer will be 22,500. Abisha, you are not correct. $10 is for X and $4 is for Y. Okay? So now in this question, we have to identify the life cycle cost per unit. Umar has requested me to go back. So sure. We have to be a bit hurried today because we have to complete the mock in 3 hours time. Rather 2 hours time. The 3-hour mock in 2 hours time. So this is the life cycle cost per unit. To calculate the life cycle cost per unit, first we will calculate the total life cycle cost. And the total life cycle cost include design cost, depreciation cost, and decombination cost. So these all will be fixed, which are 800,000, 500,000, and 20,000. So it's 800,000 plus 500,000 plus 20,000 The answer will be 800 plus 500 plus 20. It's 1320,000. This is the fixed cost. Now, the variable cost is $20 per unit. This is the direct manufacturing cost. And 300,000 units to be produced. That means the direct cost will be 300,000 multiplied by 20. So it will be 6 million. Now let's talk about the overheads. So the general overheads are $72 million on the budgeted machine hours of 96. That means the OAR will be 72 divided by 96. This will be the OAR. Now each unit uses 4 machine hours. If I multiply it by 4, I will have the overhead per unit. Now there are 300,000 units. So if I further multiply it with 300,000, I will have the total overheads. These 300,000 are the number of units. So if I calculate it, it will be 72 divided by 96, multiplied by 4, multiplied by 300,000. The answer will be 900,000. So now if I total it, it will be 900,000 plus 6 million plus 1.32 million. The total answer is 8,220,000. Now, because there are 300,000 units, the answer will then be, so if I divide it by 300, the answer is 27.4. So the correct answer is C, 27.4. Yes, Salman, Abed, you are all correct. It's 27.4. So, which of the following is or are slack resource? So, we have to identify the slack resource in this question. So, a jeweler company make rings and necklace. So, these are the two products. The resources available to the company has been analyzed and two constraints have been identified: labor time and machine time. The management accountant has linear programming and determine R is equals to 500 and N is equals to 400. So, this is the optimum production plan. And we have to identify which of the resource has a slack. Now, slack will be for the non-critical limiting factor, and the non-critical limiting factor should be the limiting factor which does not consume all the resources. So what I can do is I will put the value of R and N in the labor constraint and see how many labor hours are consumed. If the labor hours are equal to the labor time available, it will be a critical limiting factor. But if not, it will be a non-critical limiting factor. So the equation is 3R plus 2N. So it's 3R plus 2N. And the answer is R is 500. So 3 into 500 plus 2 into 400. So if I solve it, the answer will be 2300. So that means I'm consuming 2300. I have the availability of 2400. That means labor will have a slack. So at least labor will have a slack. Now similarly, we can check for the machine. And it is 0.5 R plus 0.4 N. So it is 0.5 R is 500 plus 0.4 N is 400. If we calculate it, what will be the answer? If you can calculate it, it will be 410. Now the consumption is equal to the machine time availability. That means it is a critical limiting factor, and that also means there won't be any slack for the machine time. So the correct answer will be 1 only. Now this is the question on the material yield variance for the March. So for this, let's prepare the table that I produce. So for yield variance, I will require kind of material, then the actual output into standard usage, and then I will use actual usage into standard mix. Then I will take the difference, multiply by the standard price, and I will have the variance. Now, there are 3 different kinds of material, J, K, and L. So I'm writing J, K, L. The prices are 4, 12, and 8. Let's write the prices 4, 12, and 8. First of all, let's calculate the actual output into standard usage. So the actual output is 3000 units. So if I multiply it with 5, I will have the actual output into standard usage of 15,000. 3000 into 5. For material K, it should be 6500 into 2. That should be 13,000. Sorry, I've written a bit wrong. It should be J, K, and L. And the actual output into standard usage should be written over here. It's 15,000, 13,000, and what is the last one? It's 3,000 into 3, that is 9,000. Now I will require actual usage into standard mix, and for this, first of all, let's calculate the actual usage. Let's see the actual usage. So the actual usage are 13,200, 6,500, I guess. I've done a bit of mistake. For K, the actual output in standard usage should be 6,000, not 65. 13,000, it should be 6,000. Okay? I apologize for the mistake. And it is 9,300 for L. That means my total actual usage is 13,200 plus 6,500 plus 9,300. It's 29,000. Now, standard usage, the standard usage in the question is, if I total it, it will be 10. The total is 10. That means the standard proportion for J is 5 by 10. For K, it's 2 by 10. And for L, it's 3 by 10. So if I multiply with the standard proportion, so multiply by 5 divided by 10, the answer is 14,500. This I will write over here. 14,500. Similarly, for K, it should be 6,500,000 into 2 divided by 10. So the answer will be 5,800. And for the last one, it will be 29,000 into 3 by 10. So 29,000 into 3 divided by 10. It will be 8,700. Now, if I calculate the difference, it will be 500 positive. Over here, it will be 200 positive, and it will be 300 positive. Now, if I multiply it with standard price, what will be? It will be 2000. This will be 2400, and this will also be 2400. So if you total it, the answer will be 600. As the answer is in positive, so it will be a favorable variance. Yes, Salman, Abed, you all are correct. All are correct. So I'm not looking that much in detail today. Okay. So I open the question box once I solve my question. That's why I'm not responding you instantly about what you have answered me. So this is the operational price variance rather. So use recycled plastic to manufacture shopping baskets for local retailers. The standard price for the kg and the standard usage of recycled plastic is 0.2 kg for each basket. The budgeted production was 80,000 baskets. Due to the recent government incentive to encourage recycling, the standard price of recycled plastic was expected to reduce to $0.4 per kg. The actual price paid by the company is 0.42 per kg and 100,000 baskets has been produced. So this is a very simple question. To calculate the operational variance, we require a revised standard price, which is 0.4 in this question, and the actual price, which is 0.42, multiplied by 100,000. The answer will be this is the actual output, which is 100,000 basket. I should have used the usage, which is 20,000. Should have used the usage, which is 20,000. So this will be, answer will be minus 400, so it will be adverse. So the answer should be C, 400 adverse. Now, our government is trying to assess school by using a range of financial and non-financial factors. One of the chosen method is the percentage of students passing 5 exams or more. So this is a fairly easy question. This should be effectiveness because this is the objective. The objective of the government school is to pass the exams. Make sure that their students pass the exam. So the answer should be effectiveness. So now in the question which we have been required, which of the following will improve the throughput? So first of all, what we do, we calculate the throughput accounting ratio for each process. So that we can identify the throughput accounting ratio. So the question is, a manufacturing company uses 3 processes to make its 2 products, X and Y. The time available on the 3 processes is reduced because of the need for preventive maintenance and rest break. The table below details the process time per product and daily time available. So this is process per day. It is 22 for process 1, 22 for process 2, and 18 for process 3. And we can make process to make 1 unit of product X require 1 hour for product X, 0.75 for process 2, and 1 for process 3 once again. And same is for this part for product Y. So first of all, let's see which is the bottleneck process. Okay, so which should be the bottleneck process, by the way? Which should be the bottleneck process? Any suggestion? Process 3. Why do you think that it's process 3? Hiba Firoz is saying that it should be process 2. Why do you think that it's process 3, by the way? Yes, if you can calculate its production, and you will see that the total time required in process 2 is more than is available. So we have 22 hours available, but if for process 2, if we calculate it, we require how much hours? It will be 10 units of X, each unit require 0.75 hour, plus 16 units of Y into 1. The answer will be 7.5 plus 16, so it should be 23.5. But we only have 22 hours available. Here in this question, 23.5 hours is greater than the hours available. So this should be the limiting factor. This should be the bottleneck, not the slack hours. This is not the slack hours, rather it is a bottleneck hours. Okay? So that means, what does that mean? The answer should be A. Because there is no point in reducing the time taken or breaks for process 3 and 1. We have to work it on the process 2. Different management accounting techniques can be used to account for environmental costs. So this is the topic of environmental cost. One of these techniques involves analyzing costs under 3 distinct categories: material, system and delivery, and disposal. So what is the technique known as? It is a knowledge-based question. If you revise your environmental management accounting topic, you will find that this technique is known as flow cost accounting. So in this question, we have been asked that material adjusting for the external factors outside the manager's control, in which category is there evidence of poor performance? So we have to identify which has the poor performance. Okay. So a profit center manager claims that the poor performance of the division is entirely due to factor outside her control. She has submitted the following table along with notes from market expert, which she believes explain the cause of the poor performance. There's kind of a mistake in this information because both of the headings are actual this year. So one should be, I think, the previous year or something like that. Okay, so I will recheck which heading is incorrect. Anyway, we have been provided with the sales volume, sales revenue, and the total material cost. We have also been provided with the expert notes. So please read the market expert notes, and in the meanwhile, let me check from the original question paper that what was the actual heading. Just read the original question. So the second heading, this heading, which I put my cursor, is not the actual this year, rather it is actual last year. Okay. Now, if it says that the market has entirely declined 25%. So if I flex it, my remaining budget will be 500 into 75%. So if we calculate it, the answer will be 500 into 0.75. It is 375. Okay. Sorry, rather I've just made a mistake. It has said the entire market has decreased by 25% compared to the last year. So it should not be compared with 500, rather it should be done with 400. So if I calculate it, 400 into 0.75, the answer is 300. And in actual, we also have 300. That means there is no adverse variance, adverse operation. Now, if the selling price has been fallen, that means my sales revenue would have been fall accordingly. So once again, this shouldn't affect the operational variance. And finally, the material cost. The demand for the raw material is decreasing. Suppliers lowered their prices by 5%. Now, lowering the prices means that the cost should also be low. But last year, the cost was $8,000. But now we will be purchasing 75% less material, 25% less material. So it will be 75%. So it will be 6,000. And this cost is further reduced by 5%. So the revised budget will be 6,000 into 95%. So it will be 6,000 into 95%. So it should be 5,700. Now, in actual, we have consumed $6,500 cost. That means we have a poor performance in material cost. So the answer will be A. Hasib Alai has asked me which side is actual. Here both are actual, but this side, the first heading is budget this year. The second heading is correct, actual this year. The third heading is actual last year. Actual last year. Okay. Now, which of the following is not likely to be potential benefit of introducing the system? So, what is the system? Manufacturer and retail of kitchen introduces an enterprise resource planning system, an ERP. So, the correct answer will be D, because this benefit will be introduced when the strategic support system will be introduced, not the ERP. Let's go to the 12th question. Which of the following would not be an effective control procedure for the generation and disclosure of information within the government department? So we have to identify the method which is not effective control procedure. Let's see the background information. A government department generates information which could not be disclosed to anyone who works outside of the department. There are many other government departments for working within the same building. And the correct option is A. If working from home, it will not be an effective control procedure, because if they work it from home, then all the data can go outside the organization. Let's discuss the 13th question. And in this question, we have been asked to calculate the return on investment for the year. So at the end of 2001, an investment in current has net assets of $1 billion and annual operating profit of $190,000. However, the bookkeeper forgot the account for the following. A machine with the net book value of $40,000 was sold at the start of the year for $50,000 and replaced with the machine costing $250,000. Both the purchase and sale are cash transaction. No depreciation is charged in the year of purchase or disposal. The investment center calculates the return on investment based on the closing net assets. So first of all, my net assets were $1 million opening, or I should rather write 1,000. Let's work it into $1,000. This is my balance of net assets. Now, my net assets is, there's a book value of net assets which is $40,000. I have sold it, and instead I have sold it for $50,000. That means my net assets has reduced by $40,000 by selling the assets, but will increase by $50,000 against the cash we will receive. Also, if we have buy to $50,000, my investment will be increased by $250,000. So the answer will be 1260. Now my profit is 190,000 and the investment is 1260. What will be the ROI? It will be 190 divided by 1260. It will be 15.08%. I think I've done something wrong in that. Yes. There is a profit on disposal which is 10,000. I have missed its recognition. So that means my total profit will be how much? 200 divided by, and yes, also So the correct answer should be 15.9%, not 19.8%. Oops. Well, there's one more glitch. Yes, rather. The investment center calculates the return on investment based on the closing net assets. So this 250,000 should be included. So the correct answer should be D, not B. Let me check, by the way. I missed one aspect, one transaction. I am excusing this for that. This should have no effect. This 250,000 should have no effect. The reason for this is that yes, we have bought the asset of 250,000 and my non-current assets will increase by 250,000, but my cash will also decrease by 250,000. So this effect will be cancelled out. And if we cancel out, that means my investment will be 1060. So now it will be 200 divided by 1060. So it will be 200 divided by 1060. And the answer will be 18.9%. Salman Abudar has told me that 50,000 is sale, so not included in the net assets. Salman, it will be included. This is because we will generate cash against that, and cash will be the part of the non-current assets. Okay? He will have asked me, can you please do that again? Let me explain that once again. We have the assets of 1,000, and after that, we have sold an asset for 40,000. So my non-current assets will be decreased by 40,000, but my cash balance will increase by 50,000. So this will be increased. Now I buy a new asset, and with that asset, my non-current asset will increase by 250,000, but my cash will also decrease by 250. So if I total it, the answer will be 1060. As far as profit is concerned, my current profit is 190, and I have generated an additional 10,000 profit from the disposal of non-current assets, because I have sold an asset which cost 40,000 for $50,000. So this will be 200. Okay. Sorry, it's 1010. It's my mistake. It's my calculation mistake. Yes, it should be 1010. It's sometimes when you do a question in a hurry, that happens. And this is what we call a time pressure in the exam. So for that, the key is you have to practice. Okay. Now from this question, it is an OT case. And if we can read the question, it is, if Milo adopts a maximum approach to decision making, which daily supply level will he choose? So maximize is the approach of maximizing the minimum profit. And what we do, we choose, first of all, we have a profit table. We will choose the minimum profit, and out of these minimum profit, we will choose the maximum one. So the minimum profit is 1170, in 450. It's for 620 supply, it's 980. It's 810 for 775, and 960 for supply of 960, it is 740. And the maximum value is 1170, so I will choose the supply of 450 using the maximum rule. Now, if Milo adopts a minimax regret, so for that, what we have to do is we have to calculate the regret. So what we have over here is, I've just switched on my table so that I can quickly calculate the value of regret on the right side of my screen. So we have 450, 620, 775, and 960. We have the value, the highest value in the first possibility is 1170. So if I subtract each of the value, the regret will be 0 for this one. For next, it is 1170 minus 980. 1170 minus 980, it should be 190. The next one is 810, so 1170 minus 810, the answer will be, 1170 minus 810, the answer is 360. And for the last one, it is 740. So 1170 minus 740, it's 430. For the second one, the highest profit is how much? It's 1612. 1612. So if I calculate that, it will be 1612 minus 1170. It will be 442. 442. The next one is 0. The further one is 1612 minus 1395. Oops. 1612 minus 1395, it should be 217. And the final one is 1612 minus 1290. The answer will be 322. So similarly, you can calculate the regrets of all of them. Once you calculate the regret, you will first of all choose the maximum regret out of these options, and from the maximum regrets, you will choose the minimum one. And when you do that, the answer should be 960. So I'm not calculating it. I hope you all have understood that. Okay? Let's talk about the third question. Which of the following statement is or are true if Milo chooses to use expected value to assist in his decision making regarding the number of lunches to be provided? So number one, Milo would be considered to taking a defensive and conservative approach to this decision. No, this is incorrect, because expected value approach is for risk neutral people, not risk averse people. So the first statement is incorrect. Expected value will ignore any variability which could occur across the range of possible outcomes. Yes, this is correct. This is true. The third one, expected values will not take into account the likelihood of different outcomes occurring. So this is also false because it takes into account the likelihood of the different possible outcomes known as probabilities. Expected values can be applied by Milo as he is evaluating a decision which occur many times over. So this is also correct. So the correct answer will be 2 and 4. Now, the part D question. The Human Resource Department has offered to undertake some research to help Milo predicted the number of employees who will require lunch in the cafeteria each day. The information will allow Milo to prepare an accurate number of lunches each day. So what is the maximum amount which Milo would be willing to pay for this information? So this is the question on expected values. So for this, first we have to calculate the expected value of each option. So this will be pi for 450. If you calculate its expected value, it will be 1170 because in all the 4 possible demand level, the profit will be 1170. For 620, it will be 980 into 0.15. The second one is 1612 into, because all the 3 options have the same possibility, so I can simply add the possibility in that. So it will be into 0.85. So I will have the expected value. So what will be the expected value? It will be 9. Let's open the scientific calculator. It will be 980 into 0.15 plus 1612 into 0.85. The answer will be 1517.2. 1517.2. For the third, it is 810 into 0.15. For second, it is 1395 into 0.3. Now, the rest of the 2 have the same value, so I will add its probability. So it will be 2015 into 0.55. And the expected value will be 1648.25 as it is done by Mustafa. So it's 1648.25. Let's write it. 1648.25. Similarly, can you please calculate the expected value for the fourth option? Anybody? Mustafa has once again done that. Thank you, Mustafa. It is 1586.4. Excuse me for this. Now, that means choosing the expected value, with the imperfect information, my expected value will be 1684.25. It will be 1684.25. Now, what if I know the perfect information? So if I knew the perfect information, my expected value will be 1170 multiplied by 0.15. And for supply level demand level of 620, the maximum profit should be 1612. So it will be 1612 multiplied by 0.3. It should be 2015 into 0.4 2015 into 0.4 and 2496 into 0.15. The expected value for this should be 1170 into 0.15 plus 1612 into 0.3 plus 2015 into 0.4 plus 2496 into 0.15. The answer will be 1839.5. That means the value of perfect information will be 1684.25. I will subtract that and the answer will be 155.25. Have I done something wrong in that? Oh yes, here is my mistake. It's 1648.25. 1648.25. So if I take the difference, the answer will be rounded off to 191. So thank you, Mustafa. I am making a lot of mistakes today. But please don't, you people don't do that. Now let's talk about the last question. So Milo is now considering the investing in a specialty coffee machine. He has estimated the following daily results for the new machine. So here is sales revenue, variable cost, contribution, fixed cost, and profit. So we have to estimate the sensitivity in that. So the first statement is that the investment is more sensitive to change in sales volume than selling price. So for this, we will calculate the sensitivity of both of them. Now, the sensitivity of selling price will be 385 profit divided by the sales into 100%. The answer will be, it's 385 divided by 1300. So it will be 29.61%. This is the sensitivity of price. For volume, we will use contribution. So it will be 385, the profit divided by the contribution of 455. And the answer will be 385 divided by 455. It is 84.6%. So that means my price is more sensitive. My price is more sensitive than the volume. But the statement 1 says that the volume is more sensitive, so this statement is incorrect. The statement number 2 says that the variable cost increased by 44%, investment will make a loss. So for this, once again, we will estimate the sensitivity of a variable cost. So it will be the profit of 385 divided by the variable cost of 845. The answer is 385 divided by 845. The answer is 45.5%. So that means variable cost can bear 45.5% fall. Now this fall is 44%. So this means the product will not make a loss at a fall of 44%. So this statement number 2 is also incorrect. The statement number 3 is the investment sensitivity to increase in fixed cost is 550%. So let's calculate that. It will be 385 divided by 70. The answer is 5.5, that is 550%. So statement number 3 is correct. And the final one is the margin of safety. So the margin of safety will be break-even point divided by the budget sales less break-even sales. So budgeted sales are 1300. Break-even sales will be, it is, if we can calculate it, first of all, let's calculate the contribution margin. It will be 455 divided by 1300. It is 0.35. So if I divide fixed cost with the contribution margin, I have the break-even sales revenue. So let's do it once again. It's 455 divided by 1300. 455 divided by 1300 is 0.35. If I divide it by the fixed cost, so that means my break-even sales revenue is 200. That means my margin of safety is 1100. So if I take its ratio, it will be 1100 divided by 1300. The answer will be 84.6%. So the correct answer should be 3 and 4. 3 and 4. There are two ways to do that. I have done it with the break-even point in sales revenue. And for this, I have calculated the CS ratio. Okay? Yes, you can also do that with the units as well. So let's first see what question this is about. Assuming budget figures are correct, what will be the flex production cost be if production is 80% of maximum capacity? Okay, so as you can read that, this question is on flexible budget. This question is on flexible budget. And we did this question the day before yesterday. If you remember that, we did that question the day before yesterday. Yes, OTKs, we had already discussed that. Now, do you want me to discuss it again? Or should we save time on this OTKs and move on to the other questions? Aliba has said, no, it's fine, move ahead. Abish, she has also said the same. What about the others? Shabir has also said that, so I presume it will be fine for me to neglect it. You should the recorded videos of day 4. If you review the day 4 session, you will find that OTKs. Okay? Now, Which of the following statement would the finance director have used to explain the Hallett Company's board what is the benefit we're adopting a target costing approach so early in the game of life cycle? Price sensitivity calculation. Salman has requested me to show the price sensitivity calculation, so I am showing it to him. So here it is. The formula is profit divided by sales revenue multiplied by 100%. So this question should be either about the life cycle cost or should be about the target costing. Now let's read the background information and then we will discuss that. Okay? So please read the background. So you would have read the question by now. So let's discuss the question. Which of the following statement would the finance director have used to explain to Hallett Company's board what are the benefits for adopting a target costing approach so early in the game's life cycle? So the first statement is customer will split into material system, delivery and disposal category for improved cost reduction analysis. So this should not be the correct answer. Number two, customer requirement for quality, cost, time scale are more likely to be included in decision on product development. So this is true. It is key concept is based on how to turn material into sales as quickly as possible in order to maximize net cash. No, this is not correct. And the final option is the company will focus on designing out costs prior to production rather than cost control during the live production. So this is also correct. So the right answer should be 2 and 4. Now, in the next question, we have been asked to estimate the forecast cost gap. So, for the forecast cost gap, we have to estimate the cost per unit first and the target cost. So first of all, what is the target cost? In the question, the selling price is 45 and the profit margin is 35%. That means the target cost will be 65%. So it will be 45 into 0.65, that is 65%. And the answer will be how much? Something wrong. 45 into 0.65, the answer should be 29.25. 29.25. So this is the target cost. Let's now see what is the current estimated cost. Has he calculated it somewhere? No. So we have to estimate it by ourselves. So we already have a production cost per unit, which is 3 plus 2.5 plus 5.05 plus 0.5. Let's calculate that first. So it will be 3 plus 2.5 plus 5.05 plus 0.45 plus 4.3. So it's 15.3. Now there are also a fixed cost, which is 2500 plus 1700 plus 1400. So it's 5600. So this fixed cost should be on 350,000 units. So this is 16. That means it will be 31.3 and the cost gap will be 2.05 then. So it is a fairly easy question. Yes, the actual cost is 31. And that means the should be 05. The Harriet company has asked the finance director to explain what activities can be undertaken to close the cost gap by its computer game. So which of the following would be appropriate ways for Harriet company to close a cost gap? So number one, buy cheaper low-grade plastic for the game, disc and cases. So this should not be correct because this will reduce the overall quality. Using standard component wherever possible in production. So this should be the correct. This should be a good suggestion. Employ a more trainee game designer on lower salaries. This should not be correct because this will then consume more time to produce the game and the overall cost will increase. There are chances that the overall cost will increase rather than reduce that. So this shouldn't be correct. Use the company's own online gaming website for marketing. So this will definitely reduce the cost and this should be the good suggestion. So the answer should be 2 and 4. Now, which of the following statement is true? The direct cost per unit has been based on an expected learning rate of 90%. But now the finance director has realized that a 95% learning rate should be applied. That means the actual learning curve or the actual learning rate is higher. That means the cost will also be higher. So the correct answer over here will be C. This is because there shouldn't be any change in the target cost, but because the estimated cost will be higher and so will be the cost gap. So the correct answer should be C. Now, the final question. Hallett Company is thinking about expanding its business and introducing a new computer repair service for customers. The board has asked if target costing could be applied to this service. Which of the following statement regarding service and the use of target costing within the service sector is true? So if you read the information, you will find clearly the B answer is correct. B is the correct answer. Now let's look at the long question. And the first question is that assuming that CSE company keeps to its agreement with the emphasis has calculate the shortage of beta, the resulting optimum production plan, and the total profit for the next month. So this seems to be the question of limiting factor analysis. Or it could be of throughput as well. So only the background information will tell me that whether it is the question of limiting factor analysis or throughput. If I can rephrase, we have been provided with the contribution. That means it should be the question of limiting factor. So please read the background information and then I will discuss. I hope you have read the information. Now let's discuss that. So the first step in the limiting factor topic is identify the limiter. Let's make it bold. So the identification of limiting factor can be done by the material required versus availability. So what is the availability? What is the availability? This is the production budget. Yes. So it has said that the beta is going to be limited to 12,000 grams. So let's calculate the usage of beta. So the cost is 0.75. That means cake is using 0.5 kg, 0.5 gram rather, because the price is in gram. So we have three products: cakes, then we have cookies, and then we also have shakes. As far as cakes is concerned, the demand is 11,200 multiplied by the usage per unit, and the usage per unit will be, the cost per unit was 0.75, the price was 1.5. That means if I divide 0.75 by 1.5, I will have the answer of 0.5, which would be the usage in grams. So the total required beta. Similar for cookies, it will be 9800 multiplied by 0.3 divided by 1.5, it will be 1960. And same is for shakes. It will be how many units? 2500 multiplied by 1.5 divided by 1.5. So if I total it, it is 10,060. This is not a bottleneck, by the way. Yes. I forget to incorporate one more information, and that is the general demand of cake shakes is 2,500, and there is an additional demand of 5,000 shakes. That means the total demand of shakes will not be 2,500, rather it will be 7,500. So if I do that, this is what I have been required. Now the available are 12,000. So as we require more and the availability is less, so this will be the material beta is the limiting factor. Now what will I do? I will rank the product based on the contribution per limiting factor. So I will be calculating contribution per limiting factor now. As this is the heading, I will make it bold. I have three products: cakes, then we have cookies, and shakes. Now, the contribution per limiting factor of cake will be the contribution per unit of cake, which is 2.6 divided by the usage, and the usage was 0.5. The answer is 5.2. For cookies, the contribution is 1.75 divided by the usage, and the usage is 0.3 divided by 1.5. This was the formula for usage. So it will be 8.75. And for shakes, it will be 1.2 divided by 1. So equal 1.2 divided by 1. So it's 1.2. That means if I rank it, let's once again make it bold. It will be, this will be rank 1. My rank 2 will be cookies and shakes will be rank 3. But ask me why did you divide it by 1.5? But I have to use the usage. So the usage is 0.3 divided by 1. So it is 0.2. It is 0.2. So what I can do over here is, if I calculate the usage independently, I can use that too as well. The production plan. So in the production plan, first of all, we will be making the shakes because we have a contract to perform. So it's contract and sorry, I have to write units over here. Rather, I should add shakes contract here. Okay, so the usage per unit and the total usage. I will be writing the remaining part as well. So we have 5,000 contract for the shakes. Usage per unit is 1. The total usage will be 5,000 into 1. I have 12,000 material available. I've consumed 5,000 in preparing shakes for the contract. So I will have left with 7,000. Now I will prepare my data according to the contracts. So now I will be preparing cookies. And now cookies, the demand was 9,800. The usage per unit is 0.2. That means the total usage will be 1960. And the remaining will be 5040. Now I will be preparing cakes. So the units of cakes are 11,200. Each unit requires 0.5. That means I will be requiring 5,600. So over here, because we have only left with 5050, so this answer should be 5050. And that means I can only be able to produce 10,018 cakes. Now the next step is the calculation of profit. And for this, I will first calculate the contribution. Why not the first in ranking? Umar Yasin has asked me that why not I produce the rank one, that is cookies first. Dear Shakes has a contract of 5,000 which must has to be fulfilled. Okay, so this must have to be fulfilled. Now, because this must have to be fulfilled, so irrespective of the ranking, we have to produce these shakes. So this is the reason. Okay. So now the total contribution will be how much? For shakes, we have 5,000 and the contribution is 1. It's not 1.2, rather it should be 1 because there is a discount of 0.2 on these 5,000 shakes. So plus cookies multiplied by the contribution per unit of each cookie. It is 1.75. And then the turn for the cakes, and it is 2.6. Let's do it once again. It should be equal. There's some problem in this part. So the total contribution is 48358. Now in the question we have been told about the fixed cost, which is 3,000. So the profit will be contribution minus fixed cost. So it's 45358. So this will be the answer. So in this question, we have been asked to discuss whether the CSC company should breach the agreement. Okay. Now there are 2 points to discuss over here. First one is about the goodwill. And this will affect 2 different issues. The first one is that we may lose future customers. Also, we may lose more sales from existing customers too. The other issue is the legal. Because it is a binding contract, we have to see that if we breach this contract, what will be the legal concerns. So this will be the 2 key points in which I will be discussing this answer. Have you understood that? Yes, we have to discuss at least both aspects. We have to plan it accordingly because there are 4 points. The requirement is on discussion. So examiner is expecting at least 2 different points. So you can write one on goodwill and one on the legal concerns. Yes, within that you can either discuss lose of future customers or lose more sales from the existing customers. Either of these 2. What is the positive aspect that you can explain? Salman has asked me that what would be the positive aspect. So what positive aspect you can write in case of breaching the contract, breaching the agreement? Aisha Sharaz has asked me, will we get its solution attached in email? It is important for all of them, all of you people, that you will not be emailed the answer of the mock. Rather, you have to log into the campus inside, perform the mock, and when you submit the mock, you will have the solution at the end. Okay? So this will be available to the campus inside logins and not on the email. Now the C part is explain what is the line labeled C is equal to 2.6 x plus 1.75 y on the graph and what are the representative of by the points O, A, B, C, D means. Let's first discuss that. Where it is C is equal to 2.6x. So this is the line. This is the line he's talking about. So this is the line of ISO contribution. That means for the first part, first of all, we will be discussing the contribution line. So we will explain what contribution line is and tells us. And the second part will be the discussion of OABCD. What is OABCD? Here it is. This is OABCD. This is the feasible region. So secondly, we will be discussing about what feasible region is. So we will be explaining the contribution line and the feasible region. Aisha has asked me that is this available for all the students? Yes, this is available for all the students, but for this you have to go log in or create your account with acca.campusinsight.net. I'm writing it once again. It is acca.campusinsight.net. Now, it also says explain how the optimum production plan will be found using the label C is equal to 2.6 x plus 1.75 y and identify the optimum point from the graph. So in this question, he has asked me to, how do we identify our optimum point? So we can tell them that we will put the scale just in line with the contribution function and then drag it further to the objective point. The furthest point will be the optimum point. So we will explain it theoretically. The third one is explain what a slack value is and identify from the graph where slack will occur as a result of the optimum production plan. So we have to explain what the slack is. The slack value is the resource available. So in the third point, you have to explain slack. And then you have to tell which resource will be the slack. So when you drag it, you will find that the slack will be those lines which are not on the optimum point, and these are the lines which are known as non-critical limiting factor as well. So first you will explain slack and then you will tell which line will be for the slack. Okay? Have you all understood that? So this question is on the performance evaluation, that how do we assess the financial and non-financial performance of Jungle Company for the year ended. Okay, first of all, you have to explain the slack. So for this, if I could refer back to the slides. So this is the explanation of slack, first of all. Okay, this should be the explanation for slack. And as far as line is concerned, we will place a scale just along this line and drag it to the furthest point. So if I have the pen in my hand, so if I do that and drag it further, I will find that the point C is the optimum point. Now, because point C is the optimum point, the lines are labor and demand for cakes. Labor and demand for cakes. Okay, that means this is the optimum point and both the resources are critical. That will also mean that Singa, beta and demand of cookies, all three are non-critical limiting factor and the slack will be for these three. Yes, we have to, because actually the first part of the requirement in the requirement number 3 is explain what a slack value is. So the first part is you have to explain what is slack and then you have to identify the slack. Okay, from the graph. The demand for cookies is also slack, because demand for cookies is also a non-critical limiting factor. Slack is, this is because we are not, if we have been able to produce, if we have got labor and hours more, we can further sell more cookies. That is why. Okay. Now this is the question in which we have to discuss financial and non-financial performance. And the way to assess the financial and non-financial performance is same. And that is, first of all, you have to assess or calculate the financial ratios. And by the way, you can also insert table for that. Like this. In that, you can write the heading of description. Then you can write the heading of calculation. Then for the year, so there are 2 years, one is 2006 and the other one is 2005. Now you can calculate the growth in revenue of household. Similarly, growth in revenue of electronics, and so on. So you can calculate the growths. So there is a huge data that is provided in this question. Huge breakup. So you can calculate the growth individually and overall. You can calculate the growth in cost of sales individually and overall. And then you can also assess gross profit and the administration, the net profit margins as well. Okay. Aisha has asked me that can we convert the sheet into Excel? No, we don't have the option. We don't have the option in the exam. The only thing we can do is that we can insert a table in that. Okay, we can insert the table in that. So once you have done with the financial ratios, you can discuss turn by turn. But remember what is the challenge, especially in this question? The challenge is that there is so much calculation, there is so many data that you have calculated in it and there should be some marks for the calculation and some marks for the discussion. And you also have to discuss the non-financial aspect as well. So that means this time you will be very brief in discussion. And that will also means that you will perform simple analysis. That is simple increase and decrease and one possible reason. Just very brief. If you don't find any reason, just go ahead. Simply compare it. And then you will also assess the non-financial aspect as well. So for example, you can clearly see that the delivery percentage of orders delivered on time has fallen. So this is poor. Customer complaints has increased drastically. So you also have to discuss the non-financial performances as well to get the 20 marks. The way to assess the performance is same that what we had discussed yesterday in the question. Okay. So please do that if you haven't done yet. Please do this discussion and please submit it and I will try to review your answers and will give you the feedback if required. Okay? Can you do that? Salman Abuzar has already done that. I will check with the team that if they have the answer, I will try to review it myself. So this is it for the day. Now at the end, I will love to have a brief feedback from you. That because this session, one thing is for sure that this session was very fast. This session was very fast because we have been allotted only 15 hours to revision. But this session could be very beneficial for you if you are have already covered your syllabus and now you are revising it. Because this will help you to start your revision and start performing the questions. So if you have find that this whole prepare to pass was a quick revision, a very fast, so he is not getting the objective. The objective of this is just to revise the syllabus and not to cover that. Aisha has, sorry, I should not mention the name in this case especially, that she has dropped her paper rather, on 47. So this is very close. Generally what I think is, and this is the opinion of the examiner as well if you read the examiner's feedback, which is published after every exam, is generally for those who failed at 47 has poor exam techniques. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you have practice. Now there are a couple of people who are failed above 45 marks. So this suggestion is for all of them. This suggestion is for all of them. We can have this discussion on the WhatsApp group as well, by the way. Now generally the student fails is due to the poor exam techniques. When he's failed above 45 marks, he is not due to the knowledge, but due to the exam techniques. So this is due to, let me write on my one note. This is generally due to lack of practice, not answering according to requirement, and not planning before answering it. And one of the most important point is poor time management too. So the key point to improve yourself is that you have, first thing you should do in the exam is you have to read requirement carefully. And then before answering it, first plan your answer. For numerical points, it should be the format of your answer. So first plan what should be the format of your answer. And for discursive question, see what will be the points or headings you are going to answer in that. First plan that and then solve the answer. And for both of these points, do a lot of practice. Okay? And make sure that you do all your practice questions within the time limit. So I think for those who have failed their exam in 45 plus marks in December 2017 session and now they are appearing in March 2018, what all they can do is they can improve on these skills. If they be able to do that, I'm pretty sure, inshallah, they will pass this time. Yes, they have to revise the knowledge aspect, but the focus, especially from 24th February to 7th March, should be on practice, and not just on the practice. It should be on reading the requirement and first planning the answer before answering it. Okay? So this is it for the day for me. Thank you very much. I would love to have a feedback on the WhatsApp group as well. And if you have any query, the purpose of this group is that I will be answering you even after today. You can have my email address. I will be sharing you my email address once again, so you can email me if you require it. So thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz. I wish you a really best of luck, by the way, for your F5 exam. I hope you all pass with flying colors. So thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.